We call him Uncle Herman. That's a great title. Yeah, I guess the uncle part is where, uncles you like to look up to, and uncles got that sage advice, man. And so that's how I see you. And so now that someone's evolved from college and they've read the books and they're starting their job journey and maybe they're into real life things, maybe they got a love interest, they're trying to make it work in their lives. What's next, man? What do gentlemen, women have to get in line? I know. I want you to tell us. I know where we going. Let's go.
Yes, sir. So listen, I love the trajectory, right? Go to high school, finish high school, start your college journey. And let's say that college journey is almost over. You're about to graduate, but you do not know precisely where you want to end up at. My recommendation as Uncle Herman is for you to be able to start what I call your credit journey, something that is not taught in high schools, that's not taught in college, and that I had to learn the right way. If it wasn't for credit, right, personal credit, optimized personal credit. Most people hear credit, they think credit score, right, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when somebody opens your credit profile, they're not going to see any inquiries, right, no derogatories. They're going to see a history on there. So I would recommend anybody right now is to start your credit journey, to start that history, right? And a lot of times when you go for financing or anything, they're going to look at that profile, not just that score. A lot of people think, oh, they want a 720, 760, 800, 850, whatever the case might be. I'm here to tell you that you want that credit profile optimized. No public records or no bankruptcies, because the algorithms are trained to go after the profile. First the score, to have a conversation like a beautiful woman, right? Usually like what you see, but then when you have that conversation, it may not turn out to be the same. So it's the same thing in the credit world. Personal credit world, your score starts the conversation, but your profile will seal or unseal the deal.
So basically show them, you want to show the banks, the underwriters, etc., what you want to show them per se. So a lot of us go through that credit journey and make our mistakes. Like I always say, hey, we all deserve a second chance. But people, especially during COVID, they missed the payment. Maybe they caught up, or they missed the payment and they had to throw it under the bus. They like, I can't do it anymore. I give up. What does a person like that have to deal with in terms of rebounding and coming back and rejoining this successful journey from credit to, from mentorship to credit and on?
So I'm going to give you a story, a really quick story, right? I was that person, right? I was very successful at first, turned over my bill paying operation to one of my assistants. One of my assistants got sick. She took my money and paid her medical bill. She later passed away, but in the interim, my bills did not get paid. My car note did not get paid, right? What I used for the business, American Express, didn't get paid. So subsequently, that went on to my personal credit, okay? So this is before anything else. So I knew that without a doubt, I had to fix that personal credit. So I went to a company, right? My credit stopped, right? My credit stopped, took off of those things because I wasn't the one that really initiated, right? Got the car removed, got the American Express business card removed off of my credit, and I was so satisfied I bought the company, right? Because they delivered with what they said. And subsequently, I was able to access over $1 million worth of credit. Now, before and after, if I do not have this credit profile accented, right? If I have negative things on there, they would have kicked me out of the bank, they would have kicked me out of the finance, they would have denied me. Prior to going into this, right, I knew I had to get this stuff removed. My credit stop helped me to remove the stuff. I subsequently bought the company and have helped hundreds of other students, entrepreneurs, anyone to follow the same journey. But personal credit is the cornerstone of capitalism. Everybody's going to look at your personal credit. If you're going for a house, you're going for an apartment, you're going for cars, you're going for a business loan. Everybody will. They don't know you. This country has 350 million people. They don't know you. One way to get to know you is to look at your payment history, look at your character, look if you pay bills on time, look how long you've been opening up accounts. And all of that is part of your credit profile.
I like to say that personal credit is your DNA in the world. It kind of really tells who you are, how you pay, are you on time, are you behind, and if you're in your 30s or 40s and you ain't got your stuff right by that time, something else needs to be handled, which is stewardship. So stewardship of credit is a big deal. You get the credit now that you clean somebody up, and yes, you clean up people's credit. So now that you clean up a person's credit, the next level is not to go back there, right? So in terms of stewardship, in terms of revenue streams, what's your suggestion to an individual that's trying to evolve now from personal credit and move forward?
I love your transition. I want to back up one step. Okay. I love this part about stewardship. I'm going to tell you what has helped me. If you've seen what's possible with credit, personal credit, and business credit, you will not, under no circumstance, jeopardize your financial opportunity or the opportunity to become financially free. So I agree with you. The stewardship is, but I normally show them what have other people have achieved with maintaining their credit, with leveraging their credit. So once you have the blueprint, right, of you first optimizing your personal credit, and now to lead on to your thing is that while your credit is being optimized, whereas in the hospital getting surgically enhanced, right, you're working on your business profile, because those two are married in a capitalistic society, right? So when you go to look for any type of business money, they will look at your personal profile. So we know this. Experian knows it more than anybody else because they have a system where they look at a combination, a blend of both your personal and your business credit to determine how much, or if anything, you're going to get, right? So after you enhance, or while you're enhancing your personal credit, you should be structuring your business to be able to get funding. What I mean is that you need to know what it takes to have a commercial location, to have a telephone number in 411, right? To be able to go to your website for somebody to check you out. Because let me tell you how it actually works, right? When an underwriter is some 20-something-year-old kid out of college that they've given a list to determine whether or not you're going to get approved and how much you're going to get approved for. 9 times out of 10, some bigger companies have algorithms. The medium and regional companies have underwriters, young 20-something-year-old kids, and they have a checkoff list. Hey, does he have a commercial location? Why? Because most personal businesses fail. If you're using your personal address, that's already a red mark against you. In some instances like you're an exception, but in most instances, you need to have that commercial virtual office or actual physical location. You need to have a phone connected in 411 that reverts back to that address that you're in. You need to have your website. They need to be able to find you. You understand? So if you have your personal credit where it needs to be, and then you have your business credit where it needs to be, welcome to the land of opportunity. All right?
And you know this in particular about the underwriting, because then you say your son was actually in that space where he worked in that environment.
So my youngest son, right, Herman Marigny the fourth, right, he's in D.C. So he graduated Wells Fargo, took him, moved him to North Carolina, paid for everything, put him in a cubicle, and inside the cubicle, he was doing it for real estate. He was doing the underwriting procedure for real estate, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Did you sit down and ask him some questions about those details
to
help you?
Over the phone,
okay.
Right, he told me what he was doing, and I gave him the checkoff list. You know what I mean? Because this is the same thing that most underwriters look for.
Right.
They look to see if your personal credit is optimized, the score is where it's supposed to be, right?
Yes.
And then they look to see if you're a legitimate business or not.
Right.
They're looking to see if you're in compliance. Why? Because they're going to sell that package to someone else, right? In order for them to sell it, first, the owner or owners need to have a good credit with a well-optimized profile. Secondly, that business need to be found. It needs to be established that you, as the bank, did your due diligence, made sure of the things that they need to have. They combine the both, and then they bundle and sell those profiles to hedge funds, insurance companies, anybody that can use a revenue stream.
As long as they fit that criteria that they put out.
So that is right.
So, and there's different criteria, right? You have people with a lower credit score, you have people with a median credit score,
so
and
lower
people
credit
with a high
scores
credit
were subprime. We had that experience during 2007, 8, and 9 crash of the real estate. We really found out what people were after, the subprime market, because they paid more. So the worse your credit thing is, the more they pay, but the more dangerous it is. So your credit thing is going to determine where you go.
You gave us a lot on Herman.
I did.
No, that's real. So, there's people out there that maybe have sidestepped the whole idea about business and entrepreneurship because they've been so comfortable in that 9 to 5. So when you say start your business to them, it's scary, it's frightening, it's intimidating, right? Can you ease?
I
Can
can.
you ease the
I can.
mind
So
of that person?
I want you to think of it this way: the younger generations call this side hustles. So there's no reason with today's technology that you cannot start your own side hustle in a digital format. It doesn't have to be where you just walk away from your security blanket, right? You can start setting up websites. You can start doing selling credit as a authorized user if your credit is good. There's a number of things that you can do, right, for a side hustle to be able to supplement your income until you feel comfortable
to be actually do a
walk
business,
away.
right? And that's what they're
absolutely
doing
right.
now with Uber and Lyft and Postmates and all these different services that work off their phone. They're kind of really running a business, and even before they do that, their life is a business. Got to brush your teeth in the morning, got to get somewhere on time, got to maintain this relationship, got to eat right. I mean, all of that is a business.
It
the
is
business
exactly,
of you, right?
Exactly. So now you're gonna take that same systematic mentality that you have and convert it over to some type of side hustle, right? When you said that, it made me think of one of my clients still have their full-time job, but what they do is they do arbitrage with Airbnb. They take their good credit, they go lease a space that allows them to do Airbnb, and then they furnish it with their good credit, and then they're booked out 3 or 4 months ahead, and they didn't have to buy any property. So this is the thing.
Rental
So
arbitrage.
That's right. Airbnb rental arbitrage or whatever the
Short-term rental.
short-term rental
Yeah.
arbitrage, and they're doing fantastic enough where now they feel confident with the income stream coming in to be able to walk away from that 9
So
to
let
5.
me legitimize my business and turn it into a business, right?
Amen.
There you go.
Amen. And so I've designed a blueprint for you to follow. Hey, get that commercial location. Hey, get that telephone number. Hey, get that website.
The compliances
That's
that
right.
you
Get
talk
your
about.
EIN number.
Right.
It's about 20 different compliances. So where we did was we automated it to where you come in and then you log on to this digital platform, and a virtual lady walks you through each and every step of your compliance.
So not only that, you've also sort of systemized the personal credit level as well. So as long as y'all get the mentorship out the way and get your side hustles going, then you come and HERMAN MARIGNY
Yes.
will definitely because of the company you have that fixes the credit, you actually are preparing us to go to business credit, and then you're in the business credit sphere, right? You're amassing business credit, and from what I know, you get business credit to create assets or to create capital with that money.
That is right. So what we call it is you do income producing assets.
Mhm.
That is the goal. Back before, somebody will get some money and they'll go buy a luxury car. They'll get some money and go traveling or something else. That money did not create a residual income. So I created a university called Business Credit University, to whereas we take you in, first get your mind right, personal development, and then go into personal credit or business credit, real estate, transportation, or you name it, wherever you need to be. But the first step that you mentioned earlier of personal development is critical, because when you don't know, or better yet, when you know, you do better.
When you
When
know, better, you
do
do better.
That's exactly
Yes,
right. And
yes,
when you
yes.
don't, you just float.
Okay, so just to recap, you're talking about optimizing and cleaning up your personal credit, because everybody makes mistakes. I
Correct.
get that.
Mhm.
And we need to get clean and get right in our lives with the personal credit. It's almost like you start eating right. You know, you got to start eating right so that you can live longer,
Tell
right?
me about it. Mhm.
And then, and then you use your personal credit to sort of substantiate your business credit. Your business credit is from what I understand, your personal credit run by the FICO system is sort of your DNA, but the business credit is almost like another you. You're actually creating another you, another social security number, which is what the PAYDEX and the EIN.
And secret sauce, you can create multiple EINs.
Multiple, so you can
There's
make multiple
one,
U's.
There's one credit
Yes.
that's been optimized, right?
Yes.
You can own multiple LLCs. Like
And
I
there's
do.
no law against that.
It is,
Nothing.
It is absolutely 100% legal. You can
Mhm.
own, like I do, several CDL schools,
Mhm.
trucking companies, brokerage companies, and be at the center
Yep.
of all of that using that one FICO.
Good credit.
That one good FICO optimized credit score to be able to
So
leverage
literally,
that.
somebody could have 100 companies
That's correct.
and fund those 100 companies all just because you got great credit.
That is right. And that's why I always tell people that personal credit is the cornerstone for capitalism. It is
So
the
it's almost like
cornerstone.
breathing.
It is. In a capitalistic system, it is. In a third world country, nobody cares. But in any Western civilized system that deals with credit, that is the cornerstone of capitalism.
So great, we're here with Herman Marigny. We're talking about personal credit, business credit, really life. And we're going to come back with another segment. And but in the meantime, we have his information below this video, connected to this video, that you can get in touch with him and you can get involved and get your personal credit and get your business credit fixed and get your life on track. Really, that's what we talking about, right?
Amen.